What's up, in this Libby Savage Legs Media, and we are back again and here to talk about Israel Premier Attack. This is going to be about a 5 to 10 minute video, so if you don't want to hang around for that long and you click off, cool. But anyway, this is just my thoughts on Israel Premier Attack and everything that is going on. So I personally think that just looking at like history with war and sporting events and what has happened to other countries, like most recently Russia, I find it sort of confusing that Israel Premier Attack is still allowed to compete in the just cycling in general under the name Israel. And as you can see, if you look at the jersey, they've taken the Israel off of the jersey for the sake of like the protesters and stuff. So they are, what is the word I'm looking for? They are sort of caving into the protesters somewhat by removing the name Israel, hoping that it will calm down the protesters. But that's not calming down the protesters, because the protesters know you are still associated with Israel. You know, like that is their team. So that is where the conundrum is. That is definitely where the conundrum is. So what am I talking about? So let's look at which countries have been banned from sports due to war or conflict. And this is the issue right now, because Israel Premier Attack is at war with who? Iran. So following the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022, numerous international sporting federations imposed bans. Football, that's FIFA and UEFA, Russian national and club teams were suspended from competitions like the World Cup qualifiers and European tournaments. Ice hockey, that's IIHF, swimming and athletics, tennis. Other sports include rowing, rugby, fencing, equestrian, orienteering. I think I know what that sport is. Orienteering, badminton, and taekwondo, Olympic and multi-sport events. The IOC suspended hosting and participants' rights from Russian athletes who were banned or required to compete under a neutral flag. So you still have Russian cyclists that are in cycling, but they are not okay. Let's look at what's a big team that's in the pro peloton that's associated with Russia is Astana. Astana is he's a banker. He's a the owner, very rich. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know something to do with banking, and they are allowed, and no one is protesting the Astana team, and now they have a Chinese sponsor, which is the beginning initials of the Astana team. So there is no issue with Astana competing inside of the World Tour cycling, because even though there is some association with Russia, it is not Russian, if you get me. It's confusing. But anyway, so they are allowed to compete in the sports, and no one is bothered. No one is getting the pennies in a bunch over that bit. Israel Premier Attack and the protest of the La Vuelta, you are seeing echoes of the Russia sporting ban. But Israel Premier Attack situation is different. Protests targeting Israel Premier Attack during the 2025 Vuelta a España. Pro-Palestinian activists disrupted stages, blocked the team, and caused crashes or neutralization. So I'm just reading some stuff off, just some stuff that I got from ChatGPT. And the response from the team, like I mentioned already, has been to remove the Israel from the jersey using the monogram only kit for the safety, though the team remained unchanged. The UCI, organizers of the UCI, the team continues racing. Volta organizers and the UCI emphasize sports political neutrality and refuse to ban the team. And all of these have links in them, but too bad I can't put up the links. Political voices that weighed in Spain's foreign minister expressed support for expelling Israel Premier Attack, and the political message drawing parallels to Russia's exclusion, which I just did. So, I mean, it's something that's being looked at worldwide. It's not just, just like something on the top of my head. Obviously that's going to go focus onto that. So ChatGPT said, why is it different from Russia's ban? Well, this is what ChatGPT said. Russia's faced a formal global sporting exclusion enforced by the governing bodies as a direct response to war. Israel Premier Attack is a private professional team, not a national representation, and no governing body has sanctioned or banned it. Instead, the controversy stems from the activist pressure and protest, not institutional bans. But even though it's not a Israel team, the name Israel is still there. Israel Premier Attack. That's a major problem. With as volatile as the situation is between Israel and Iran, that's a big problem, man. That is definitely a big problem. So like I said, so safety concerns, it might be it might reduce visibility to protesters, but it does not eliminate the risk, which is what I said. Sporting principles. The UCI chimes in again. The organizers uphold the neutrality of sports, changing the name could set precedents about bowing to external political pressure. Well, you can't. You see how the people are. The people are losing the plot. The people are losing their minds. It's not no little thing, and people are being very, like. I think if I was from Iran and I'm in war with Israel and my country, because I'm pretty sure I believe that Iran is not allowed to, they have some sanctions on them as well. And if you look and say, okay, you got this big team, Israel Premier Attack, and they're committing war crimes, and you see this, you're going to be like, how do they get to still compete? It's just not fair. So let's look up really quickly. There we go. My spelling sucks sometimes. So let's see what Gemini comes up. While there aren't any widespread international sporting sanctions in the same way the country might be banned from a major sporting event body like FIFA or IOC, Iran's sports sector is significantly impacted by the combination of political issues, government policies, and the broader economic sanctions. Here are the key points. Political interference and ban on competing against Israel. This is the most prominent sporting sanction against Iran. The government and especially Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has a long-standing and explicit policy prohibiting Iranian athletes from competing against Israeli opponents. This has led to numerous instances of athletes forfeiting matches, faking injuries, or intentionally losing to avoid a match. This is a policy is a clear violation of the Olympic Charter, other international sports rules, and has led to bans for specific athletes and the suspension for the country's Judo Federation. In summary, while you won't find a single all-encompassing sporting sanction document, the combination of the Israel political stance on Israel, the impact of broader economic sanctions, and the international government policies creates a de facto sanctioning environment that significantly isolates and harms Iranian sports and athletes. So that right there, along with Israel Premier Attack being allowed to compete under the name Israel, which they've been doing for years now, is wild. Is wild. And when you have stuff like that, and with what I just read, you are going to have problems. So in a sense, you can understand why the people are protesting so hard and causing such mayhem, because it's unfair. It's really, really unfair. And I guess, if you're just a human being, you would feel a way as well. And this is just how they're doing things. So it's a two-pronged thing. So two-pronged thing where it's making it dangerous and unsafe for the riders, because you never know what can happen, because you got people just wilding out and just causing havoc, and that can come in at any turn in any corner. Just imagine if someone done something on a descent when those guys are doing 60, 70, 100 kilometers, and someone does something on a descent. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to imagine that. So the safety of the riders, and then the ethics of it is the other thing. It's Yeah, it's not cool. So anyway, this is Ines Luby, Savage Legs Media. I hope that was informative. I hope it doesn't make you hate one person. It's not meant to make you hate one person or the other. It's just doing the right thing. And hopefully at some point in some time that all of this, what's going on, comes to a peaceful and mindful, and because so many people are dying, man, it's crazy. Just the amount of people that are dying is just not, not just in Israel, not just in Iran, but just people just dying overall. It's not a good look, and I hope that at some point things get resolved. But immediately, I think the first thing to do is just then the Israel premier attack needs to be removed, because you see, if you look at the initial, it says it's a P, but the I is still there. So that even though they've removed Israel, when they do logos, it says IPT. So the I is the little part. I is the little part at the bottom. The P obviously goes around, and then in the blue is the T. So it still says Israel premier attack. Anyway, in its Libya Savage Legs Media, chewing that.